Welcome, guys, to the Fantasy Football Show. We're going to give you guys advice on your fantasy football teams. I'm Connor Turco.
I'm Ryan Kizy.
So let's just jump right into this here. Start out with some waiver picks. People, if they're on your waivers, pick these guys up. Adrian Peterson.
Definitely.
What are your thoughts, Ryan?
Adrian Peterson, he just got moved to Arizona after being on the Saints for a little bit. He had a little bit of controversy with the coach. He didn't get enough playing time, he thought. And now with the Cardinals, with them having Johnson out for the season, Adrian Peterson is the new guy for the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, I mean, he's mostly owned, 81% in standard NFL leagues, but we all know what happens when Adrian Peterson is the workhorse back on a offense that is a heavily running offense.
Yes.
I mean, David Johnson did amazing. He got 25 points last week, 134 yards, 2 touchdowns. He is the number one pickup this week.
He's looking to put him on your starting lineup.
Yes. Orleans Darkwa.
Yes, exactly. On the New York Giants, he had a share with Wayne Gallum and Shane.
Yeah, he was kind of,
he was a little bit shaky.
Which one of them was going to be running the ball.
But he is the starter. Only owned in 0.7% of leagues. He is definitely a start. And if he's on your waiver, get him on your team.
Wayne Gallum, Shane Vereen didn't get a lot of points this week, didn't get a lot of yards this week. He has had 2 consecutive 13-point games. Mm-hmm. He looks like he's going to be...
He's gonna be the guy.
He's gonna be the guy.
The guy.
Yes. Let's get on to wide receivers here. Will Fuller owned 50% of fantasy leagues. Looks like he's gonna be a beast.
Yes. With that beast quarterback,
Deshaun Watson. Oh my God.
Gosh, he's been a beast. And with Will Fuller, he's gonna make the quarterback even look better because he's been getting at least a 1 touchdown in the last 3 weeks.
He's had 6 touchdowns the past 3 weeks, and then about 60 yards a game. So he doesn't get a lot of receptions. He gets maybe 2 or 3, but they're usually for a lot of yards.
A lot of yards and lots of touchdowns.
So I would say, he's more of a matchup guy. He's got a bye this week and Seattle next week. So if you're going to pick him up, you're going to have to stash him on your bench. But in 3 weeks, it's going to have been worth it.
It's going to be magical. Definitely magical.
Yeah. Nelson Agholor, he's looking really good too.
He's looking really good.
Owned in 23.5%
of
fantasy leagues.
Definitely picking him up to have on your team. He's always a good flex position if you need him.
Yeah, and with Carson Wentz being on fire like he is.
Philadelphia in general.
Yeah, he's really a matchup like Fuller. I'd say he's a matchup guy. Like, you don't want to play him against the really tough defenses, but he's a solid flex or wide receiver 2 option.
Yep, definitely. All right, let's move on to tight ends. Eric Engram. He's owned 33% of leagues, and as a tight end, getting 5 of 7 receptions, that's pretty good for a tight end.
84 yards and a TD last week against Denver.
That's just beautiful. And with the Brandon Marshall, Sterling Shepard, and Odell Beckham basically injured or just out for the season, really, Eli has one guy to throw to, and that's Eric Engram.
Yep. Let's get on to defenses. I go week to week personally with my defenses, so I would go, right now if you can get them, Jacksonville playing Indianapolis. Indianapolis gives up the most points to defense. They're doing horrible without Andrew Luck. Jacksonville has been a top scoring fantasy defense.
They've been the number 1 fantasy defense.
This whole season, and they're only 71% owned, so if they're there, take them. And if not, I would take the Rams against Arizona.
Yeah, it'd be a great matchup.
That's a good matchup. Arizona hasn't been doing well. They do have Peterson now, Adrian Peterson, but...
What's their air game? They got nothing. It's really not. The Carson Palmer's a washed-up QB. Just saying.
So, just to end the show off, a lot of people are worried now. With Aaron Rodgers out for the season, what's going to be the effect, Kizy, on our fantasy wide receivers, Devontae Adams, Jordy Nelson?
Yeah, it's just Aaron Rodgers is my man. I love him, but now he's basically out with a broken collarbone. And Devontae and Jordy, we should be really looking at Devontae because really, matchups have been going against Devontae, and this new quarterback, Brent Hundley, he's been really looking towards Devontae more than Jordy.
Yeah, he threw more to Devontae Adams, and the Vikings were covering Devontae more because I think they were worried about him breaking out because Brent Hundley wasn't really comfortable throwing to Jordy. So it looks like Hundley's favorite target right now is Devontae Adams. So yes, he's an inexperienced quarterback, but he's still a good wide receiver option, I'd say.
Yep, and I did watch that game, and Hudley does look like a pretty decent quarterback.
Yeah, and I mean, we'll have to see. I mean, Jordy Nelson got 60 yards. I mean, he's not going to be the same beast he was the earlier weeks, but I mean, we'll have to see. I mean, only time will tell if he's going to be a good wide receiver. I would say still start him if you don't have anyone else.
Yep. All right, and this will conclude our first episode of the show to be named later.